Welcome to today's episode of Decentralized TV. I'm Mike Adams, and you're going to love today's episode because we're talking about secure, decentralized communications, a private chat that's even more private than the other apps you may have heard about, Telegram or Signal or whatever. This is something that is like a quantum leap achievement above all of that. And we are here to talk to one of the key people who has helped bring this to reality. Now, of course, I'm joined by my co-host and show co-partner. I can I give you that title, Todd? But welcome, Todd.
Hey, you can call me anything you want, Mike. What? Just not late for dinner.
Okay. Well, what do you think about today's topic? I mean, isn't this so critical for our time to have really secure, anonymous communication?
Yeah. You mean one day all my messages aren't going to be discovered by somebody I don't want discovered? Mike?
Right. This now, we're going to bring in our guest here shortly, but his previous project is Bastion.
Yeah.
BASTYON.com. And then, of course, we have used the Bastion code to power Brighteon.io for years now, which is a decentralized blockchain-driven communication network or social media network that is, it's almost impossible to censor anybody on that system. There is a community voting system to censor, egregious abusers, but there's no centralized authority to censor anyone. Anyway, Now they have something new called Forta Chat, and we're going to talk about that today, and I think it's a breakthrough. So let's welcome Daniel Satchkov. Welcome to the show, Daniel. It's great to have you back on.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Todd. Hi, everyone. Good to be back.
It's good to see you again. You were a guest on one of our very first episodes of this show. Now here we are a few years later. The show has really exploded in popularity and reach, and we wanted to have you back on to talk about your key technology and your new tech, Forta Chat, because we think it's absolutely critical, and it's a great example of decentralized technology to help people protect their privacy and their anonymity. So you want to tell us about Forta Chat and Bastion, like whatever order you want.
Yeah, I mean, Bastion, I think we've covered. You can just have a previous episode. We'll focus on Forta because I think it's very timely. But the main idea between Bastion is this, and this is a new internet that is based on some principles that cannot be compromised. It's open source, non-corporate, anonymous. Those are key pillars. And I'll briefly explain that the reason those cannot be compromised is that most people think that freedom of speech is just like about having good people run things. And that's true to a large degree, but ultimately, if you're running something, you cannot rely on a person because if it's a corporate entity, there's going to be a board of directors, there's going to be investors, there's going to be a way to make it play. And so initially, the ground rule for all the projects within the Bastion ecosystem is that it has to be open source, non-corporate, in a public domain with one of the licenses that are highly permissible, and anonymous. That's another thing that, because if you allow people freedom, but let them speak so that they can be connected to their identity, that's a time bomb. And I will briefly say that, Mike, I follow your work. I know you deal a lot with AI, its consequences, its opportunities. Well, I think that you know better than me, but I will restate that a reason for appearance of the Forta chat is because while most people understand the danger to freedom of speech now, I think that's clear. And Bastion is meant to solve that problem along with other projects. But not a lot of people understand a much bigger danger looming, which is basically total surveillance. And It sounds like sci-fi, but what people don't understand, and you do, but I will restate it, that all of these data centers that are being built out, for some reason people think that this is to power ChatGPT or to power Opus or write programming code. Well, it's not true. You can run very large, very, very effective programming models and very effective ChatGPT-like models on a much smaller, it's a fraction of the compute that they're building, okay? They're building these data centers for one reason only, to accept huge amounts of information, particularly video information, through 5G networks, ingest it, and make decisions in real time about you, about your children. So one of the biggest dangers there is that you have a history of personal messages where this could be WhatsApp, this could be Telegram. I mean, Signal is a little bit, I think, safer in many ways, but it still ties you to a phone number, to my understanding, and it's not open source. But it is stronger than others. So, but most people will have messages in Telegram or WhatsApp or one of the social media. What they don't understand is that when this data grid starts working and they're able to ingest these messages and connect it to your passport, it's game over. This is like things that you said 5 years ago in private conversations will be used against you. If you're not worried, they're going to be used against your children when they try to enter college or get a job. And the person, the person could say to your kid or to you, is like, you know what, you can't be accepted this, you can't get this loan, you can't get this job. They will not know why. It's just going to flash on the screen that there's some problem and they cannot do it. But ultimately, it's because this data grid they're building out, it's able to analyze massive amounts of data. So
yes,
the biggest danger.
And hold on. So, and I hear from a lot of Americans, but China is always spying on you. But what you're describing is coming to America. It's already happening in the UK. It's in parts of Europe. It's coming to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. We're all going to be extremely surveilled. And like you said, everything we've ever said in a private chat can be used against us. Now, let me mention, Forta.chat is the website, okay? Forta.chat. Now, what I love about Forta is that when you sign up, you don't use an email address and you don't use a phone number. So it's never tied, and you don't use your name. It's never tied to anything that is identified as you. Instead, you get a seed phrase. You have a seed phrase and a username. That seed phrase is essentially your password to that account. But it is completely anonymous other than that. So talk to us, Daniel, about why you chose this structure for Forta, which is actually very similar to the structure of Bastion. I mean, it's the same.
Well, it's even more important than in Bastion, because if you think about freedom of speech, right, there is a problem, but ultimately most people that will speak up, they kind of, I don't want to say they're fearless, but they're already opened up, right? I speak publicly about what I do. You certainly said a lot of things, so you know the consequences, but it's much more important that people who are, like basically communities of people are not targeted because of what they said in a private conversation or in a public conversation for that matter. So it was really important to create a chat like that because there is no messenger. Well, there are some, they're not very well developed. We wanted to create a real alternative to Telegram, to WhatsApp, to all these messengers, but that actually can do all these things, but is not tied to your identity. That's really crucial. And another crucial distinction that is above and beyond Bastion itself is peer-to-peer encryption. In other words, the encryption that happens in Forta chat is completely peer-to-peer, meaning that all of the math for encrypting is done on a device of a person sending the message. And all of the math of decrypting is done only on the device of a recipient. That does not happen anywhere else. Forta chat stores 0 keys on the server. You cannot say that about Telegram, WhatsApp, or even Signal. Signal does store your keys on the server. While they are encrypted on the server, okay, you can think that every snapshot of the Signal server for sure is used by all of the, intelligence, police, whatever, whoever, right? Whomever, I don't know, ADL, I don't know. Later, when there's more powerful computers and more powerful AI, they will break the encryption. They will take your keys. That's all. So it's not only about encryption. It's about where you actually store the keys. Forta takes a principled stand, and the keys are only on the device, like you said, with that seed phrase, and all of the math happens. There's something called Diffie-Hellman handshake where keys are exchanged. This is all happens with your Bastion keys. It's derived. There's certain kind of math. It's open. I wrote the math, and it uses very strong encryption methods. It's published, and ultimately that's really important because it's not connected to your identity, and keys are never shared. So in other words, to break something, they have to break your device, and that's hard. I mean, it's not centralized. To get 1 million people, you have to break 1 million devices. It's just not it's not realistic.
So Todd, you are only now being introduced to Forta Chat. I invited you to join. I think you set up a username so far.
Yep.
Wasn't that a super easy process?
Yeah, it's very, very simple. And everybody, just back to my crypto days, Mike, when you are setting up your Forta Chat, write down the seed words. Don't take a screenshot or copy them and paste them anywhere on your surveillance devices, right?
Yeah.
But so is Forta fully decentralized? Is it federated or a hybrid?
Well, so it basically what we did was just like in a lot of other projects, we used building blocks. So there's something called Matrix Chat that probably a lot of people in the open source space are familiar with. Matrix Chat is open sourced. However, the one thing we completely redid is their encryption. Not that their encryption is completely weak. It has been kind of compromised a little bit in the past, but ultimately Matrix Chat encryption schema it relates to others because it stores keys on the server. So we did a tremendous amount of work rewriting all of the encryption. But ultimately, there is a matrix behind it, and Matrix is the federated system. So you can bring up your own home servers and so on. Where actually one thing that is coming soon is that, on Bastion, we have a desktop application that we talked about on the other show for Bastion, for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Well, soon there will be ability from that application to launch a mini server for you and your friends. In other words, that's like an extra level, if you really, because right now there are servers federated. Your messages obviously are stored on the server, not the keys, but the messages are encrypted with the keys that are only yours. So it is as safe as could be. If you want to go the extra layer, you can actually spin up your server, and soon we'll make it click, 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 kind of a wizard where you spin up a server for you and your friends. You're still part of your network, but all your communications are on your server. Now they're completely out of reach for anybody. So I really believe that people underestimate the threat from surveillance of personal messaging for the past, the future, because when you're not able to write a personal message freely with what you think, I think that's the end. I think after that, any kind of fighting against the system or any kind of resistance is just not possible. That's why it's much more important than even having censorship-free video and so on, which is important, because ultimately, when they do that, masses of people will be completely under the thumb. And I believe that there should be more applications like this. I'm surprised there are not, but with Forta Chat, this was a lot of work. This was years of work that we put in here, and finally we're comfortable to make a big launch. There's actually an Android application as well. You can download to your Android device. I'll give you a link to GitHub where you can get it, but it's not just on GitHub. We're not relying on GitHub. There's going to be a separate page, but you can, for any Android device, you can download Forta Chat. It has additional things that nobody else has. For example, Forta Chat has built-in levels of overcoming network censorship. Network censorship, when certain servers or types of traffic are blocked in certain countries. And Forta Chat has built-in Tor protocol with Snowflake, those people who know, with a lot of different things. So it actually checks if there's throttling and we're not able to get through. It turns on different layers of Tor Snowflake. It tries different bridges to get your communication through.
Wow.
Because that's another risk, is where you have this decentralized private messenger, but then there's like disruption on the internet and you're not able to connect with people. So we're doing everything we can to, so really Forta Chat is like next level up from Bastion. It has many more things that Bastion does not.
And could Forta continue functioning during regional internet disruptions or domain blocking?
Well, yeah, certainly domain blocking, certainly if internet is completely down, nothing will function. By the way, and this is not to be meant as a feature that's coming soon, but I am working on kind of a project where Forta Chat is connected to Meshtastic Radio. You probably heard of that. I'm sure you guys know. So where if you can connect with Forta to Meshtastic and continue to communicate, as long as one person anywhere has internet, they will serve as the relay. But that's probably like 6 to 12 months out. I'm just saying that we are thinking about different kinds of scenarios with Forta. We believe it's not meant to be just like a pure clone, oh, it's like Telegram. Yes, it is like WhatsApp or Telegram, but with privacy and so on. But it has other features. Like one of the features that's actually coming within 1 month, and you will appreciate this, Mike, is that in addition to chats with your friends and groups and channels and Bastion, because channels and Bastion automatically pull into Forta, so your subscriptions, you can view them in Bastion or in Forta, it's like equivalent. But there's going to be another tab which is called local AI assistance. What I'm building is a series of local compact models that are specialists, and like one model is a survival. The one I'm working on now is a survival specialist.
Cool.
Another model will be repair, like a car repair, the electronics repair specialist. And what you'll be able to do is go into Forta Chat. As long as you have internet now, you can download this model. And then even without the internet, you'll have unlimited use of that assistant. The models will be based on, there'll be like a one central model, like a Quen model, and a lot of adapters, LoRa adapters, which are basically into a modern smartphone. You will fit in a lot of assistance. So if there's a regional like complete internet disruption, right? You're not going to be able to message at that point, but you will still have a whole other functionality. So Forta is kind of multidimensional. We envision it as a store, a kind of a app store for local AI models that you can run inference on mobile devices. And I know, Mike, you have local models too. So once this is released, we'll open it up. And as a user thing, like for me, this is massive because even when I don't have internet, even just on the plane, I have access to all kinds of knowledge. It's like internet without internet.
See, that is of special interest to me, what you just said. This is the first time I'm hearing this, because I've always believed the same thing, that people need a Noah's Ark of knowledge that works locally, offline, and practical knowledge, survival, repair, natural medicine, emergency medicine, etc., food production, food preservation. Perhaps, Daniel, I might be able to contribute to that. We could talk offline, but I have a very large corpus of normalized, clean data sources, and also my book engine has created over 70,000 books, many of which are how-to books that could be used as kind of a RAG layer or a context enhancement layer, a knowledge-based layer for those LoRa adapters. So we should talk offline about that. I'd be happy to
Absolutely.
contribute.
I followed your work on that, and your health model I recommended it to many people. So
Cool.
I know that you're very well advanced in that. So the thing that I think that it's both using we could collaborate on your knowledge base, but also you could even create your own model that we could adapt for this device, because the way it's going to work, and you know what this is, but it's going to have like a Llama CPP inference engine. So any model in a certain format, which is called GGUF format,
right,
with an adapter, will work as long as there's enough memory. So all we have to do is make sure these models are compact enough, and there'll be unlimited numbers. So you go into your messages, these are your friends. You go into your groups, these are your groups. You go into your channels, these are the channels. But when you go into AI, you could have dozens and dozens of assistants, and you search out, I want an assistant that does this. And it's really important for me. I download it, take room on the device, but now I have unlimited free use of it.
Very cool. And are you thinking of models around like 3 billion parameters or 7 billion? Is that too large? What do you have in mind?
There's going to be a few versions, and the Forta Chat will actually look at the device and say, well, this device you can handle, 3. I mean, it makes no sense to go below 3.5 billion or so. Right. That's the base Quen model, because it really deteriorates the quality below that. But if it's a modern device, it will suggest, hey, we have a 7 billion model that will do a little bit better.
For sure. Okay. And one thing, I also want to mention some of the features for people. Forta Chat also supports audio messaging, so you can record an audio clip, send it to your group or your friends. And then there's a call. There's a video call feature, which I have not tried. I'm a little bit skeptical of the bandwidth and everything, but I just want to mention those features. Go ahead, Todd, and then we'll come back to Daniel.
Yeah, I know that if you have an Android, you can download the Forta Chat app. What about iPhones?
Well, if you have an iPhone, you're basically carrying a sensitive surveillance agent in your pocket, and there's nothing really not a whole lot we could do. Apple will never allow such application. They allowed a highly limited version of Bastion after many, many years.
Okay.
So you have to ditch Apple, Todd, is the answer.
Well, let me say that. Maybe there's a miracle. We did submit it. Maybe they will. I don't know. My guess is they'll come back with like, you have to change these 200 things. And we'll see. But yeah. And for audio and video, I would say that it's important to know that when you're using audio and video in, let's say, Telegram or WhatsApp, you have to remember that they always go through their servers.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I can't tell you for sure that's being recorded, but it would be very strange if they didn't, given everything else they do. With Bastion, all of the audio and video is straight WebRTC. It's an encrypted tunnel only between you and the person. It may use like a server, like a special turn server sometimes, but it never passes through some kind of centralized Bastion server.
Right.
It's purely encrypted, so it's secure communication as well. And I've heard feedback from people in countries where it's very hard to use video calling that it works and the quality is quite high. Now, is it 100% reliable? I would say at this point it's closer to like 95, 97%. We're working on it. But when it does work, it works beautifully and it's highly secure.
That's awesome.
Do you need a P-Coin for Forta chat?
No, it's just an option, by the way. That is another option in Forta chat, which I think will change a lot because we're seeing basically division of the world into technates, right? Into different completely isolated blocks where people can communicate or can send money. In Forta, there's just a very simple button to send P-Coin, to anybody in the world. So this is, I think, another really important thing, some economic sovereignty, because right now I know I have friends in many countries how difficult it is to get the money around. Yes, there's crypto, you can do crypto, but the problem for many people with crypto is there's a learning curve. You have to have a wallet, you have to know the address, you have to pick a network. Whereas in Bastion, there's none of that. You just click the amount and you send, and you are sure that you sent it to this person without any knowledge of like hashes, transactions. It serves as a wallet embedded into the messenger.
But how do people then ramp that into something they can spend?
Well, you can sell Pocketcoin on exchanges. That's the least ideal way. But also we have peer-to-peer exchange of Pocketcoin in Bastion. That's the second way. And the third way, where, some time ago, like 2 years ago, we introduced a platform called Barteron. Unfortunately, it didn't really take off in a lot of places because people tend to think that, well, it's cheaper in the supermarket. Why would I buy from a farmer or from somebody who makes things, right? But really now, if you go into Europe, in the States, not so much yet. I'm hoping that will change. But in Europe, in some of Russia, we checked in some areas of Russia, you can live on Pocketcoin. You can buy honey, you can buy food, you can repair a car for Pocketcoin directly.
Wow.
That's the Barteron platform. Unfortunately, like I said, I think that whether it's my failure to explain, but it's not taken off the degree I thought this Barteron system. I think a lot of it is, some of it I have to accept the blame, but some of it is that people tend to think that, relying on a supermarket is okay. But what you're doing is you're feeding a system that will shut you down, turn you off at the worst possible moment.
Right.
And they're not supporting the producers. And so the answer to your question, Todd, is you can off-ramp in a normal crypto ways, but my hope is that people forget all of that and just use Pocketcoin, use it as a barter, use it as money.
How do you acquire it
in that particular? Yeah.
How do you acquire the P-Coin then, Daniel?
Well, you can acquire it in a multi ways. Again, you can buy in the normal crypto ways, but also, like, for example, we have a platform where if you are in Bastion for a while and you publish content, you just get weekly Pocketcoin rewards. And they're not huge, but they're not trivial. Certainly much more than a lot of other places. So be an active content creator. Even if you don't have a lot of reach, you will get Pocketcoin. And lastly, if we think of the Barteron system as something that is really, really important for the future, and I do, then what you can think about is, well, what can I sell for Pocketcoin, right? What services I can provide? And go in there. Now, the problem with these systems, as you know, always, it's a two-way platform, a 2 or 3-way platform. it requires a lot of buyers and sellers at once. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And they have to be in one place. Creating that concentration usually requires a lot of money. With Bastion, obviously, it's a decentralized project, but again, it is surviving. There is stuff on there. I've bought stuff on Barteron for Pocket Coin in different countries. Like I know in Germany, you can buy food and some of these things probably will be legal in the EU soon. But my hope is that the end of the loop, I mean, your question is really important, Todd. That's why I won't get off of this topic, because you raised like a really important point. In the end, this has to close the loop in the real world, right? I have to eat, I have to feed my family or whatever. How do I do that? And really the barrier, yes, there's a lot of barriers that these, banksters put up and all this stuff. But ultimately, I think the final barrier is that people tend to delay. They even when they understand, they think, well, I'm just going to continue to do the supermarket thing, the Amazon thing. And when the time comes, when the X day will come, I will all of a sudden, become this like decentralized warrior, where it doesn't work like that. Because if you are not part of it today, you're not supporting the producers. You're not part of the system doesn't survive. So it's kind of a tragedy of the commons of sorts, that dilemma in economics where people rely on others, but ultimately we will prevail only if we do this together at the same time, not one by one. Like right now, it's more like a group of people gets excited, they do it for a while, and then they wither away and fall off, and then another group comes. Well, of course, the first group isn't there already, so there are not enough people for it to really take off. And I'm looking for that moment. I'm trying to advocate for it. And I know you are too, but, so I still have hope. But I think that people, by and large, haven't adopted these systems to the degree that is needed to really check the power.
There's a lot of convenience for people in the existing centralized systems, as you're well aware. But I happen to think that we're approaching an era of many real breakdowns of centralized systems or much higher risk of surveillance. And so I think that there's going to be a natural movement towards your systems like Barteron as the existing systems become extremely difficult to use or are breaking down. Or, for example, there may be a day soon where you have to purchase groceries, or let's say the government offers a universal basic income. All right, so here's free money for you because AI is taking your job. And you can use this to buy groceries, but you can't enter the grocery store and use that card if you said something bad on social media, right? So those kinds of dynamics are going to come into play. People are like, wait, screw that. I'm going to go on to Barteron. I'm going to find a local farmer. I'm going to buy some eggs with P-Coin. Like these things are going to happen naturally. I think our job is to let more and more people know that this exists, and conditions will change. The environment will change. It'll create more incentives. Now, with that said, right now, Forta.chat is the website that we want to encourage people to go to and use. And the thing is, there's no fee. There's no fee. It's completely free to use. So, Daniel, how on earth do you plan to, continue to fund this? Or eventually, will you ask people to pay P-Coin or something else in order to use it?
No, I don't think that's needed. And the Bastion has existed at this point since 2018. So it's not like I think it's at any risk, and it withstood many difficult times. Right now, there are enough users, there are enough supporters, and of course, one of the things that I believe, like my job is, I don't write the code by and large, right? I do some of the design math and algorithms, but even there, my role is more to make sure that community works in such a way so as to not require huge amounts of money. So then there are people, not necessarily to be named right now, that come in and help tremendously. It does, in the world of like social media and banking, it's not huge money, but let's say it's like $50,000, but it changes everything because it's a community project and it's so lean. And there are so many people doing a lot of things for motivations other than economic reasons. So I think that the community is well established. There's no risk, even if tomorrow, like it survived the crypto crash, which affected, of course, a lot of the crypto community and Pocket Coin. Yes. But it is solid to last for many, many years with no additional funding. If the funding comes, it just means that there'll be more stuff done. And I mean, honestly, I do everything I can. I just put money into that project myself, and other people also put in their efforts to see it succeed. So, and we're kind of like you in a way. We're really not of the opinion that we have to technologically surrender to them, meaning that, oh, let's not use AI, let's not use this. I think that so-called AI, it's not intelligence, of course, but it's like the most powerful weapon ever developed. It's really a double-edged sword. It really, if we pick it up and use it, it can actually work for us at a fraction of the cost. And we're using that. I mean, it's changed like Forta chat. I think that the reason we're able to finally finish it is using a lot of the modern neural networks, and we're using our local models, sometimes Chinese providers and so on. So I think that while people tend to focus on how bad and how much worse it's getting all the time, what you're not realizing is that right in front of you, there are like all kinds of gold and weapons just lying around. Skills that you need to
right
pick
there
up.
with you.
And I know, I mean, I watch your show, but when for Bastion, one of the reasons it's more solid than ever is that a good developer now can do the work of 10 people.
100%.
And we can focus on mass surveillance that they do, or we can pick up this weapon and build stuff. And Forta chat is an example. I mean, building a messenger is the most difficult. It's far more complicated than building a social media platform. And I know a lot of programmers. I have a friend who runs like a huge outsourcing company. I went to him with this messenger thing like years ago. I said, look, in Bastion, we have great developers. They're not going to be able to handle it. He said, I'll give you one lesson for life. Never touch messenger projects. This is don't do it. And this guy has like a lot of developers, and he's like, I'm not going to touch it. And I tell you to forget it. You will never build it. This is not your Bastion. This is not your Barteron. Messenger is the most complicated thing that breaks like in a million ways. And he was right. We tried it for years with our resources. It would always be inadequate. But then when we really modernized our development methods, we're able to finish it in 6 months.
Wow. See, you and I are both the same. So we will use the AI tools that are available right now. I'm doing, code all the time. Like I have a tape backup system to back up all this massive corpus of of science content that we have. I had to rewrite. I had to write my own tape iSCSI drivers and tape backup systems from scratch. I just had to vibe code it over a period of weeks because there was literally nothing out there that would work with these high capacity LTO tapes. But Daniel, I have to ask you. The French government kidnapped Pavel Durov to force him to hand over keys for certain accounts that their law enforcement wanted to monitor. And I believe he agreed that he did that in order to win his freedom. I mean, they kidnapped him off of an airplane, Now that's because Telegram is, widely popular, right? It's huge user base. So obviously it's a big target, but are you ever concerned that authorities will try to threaten or coerce you into some kind of similar arrangement? And what have you built into the system that is resistant, even if you wanted to go along with it? I think you built systems that wouldn't allow you to.
Yeah, and I am human, and from the beginning, I realized that there's always a way to make like a human being play with the game. I mean, very few people can withstand everything. I'm certainly not I mean, I hope I would, but that's not the point. Pavel Durov, I think, is a genius. I think he has a lot of good intentions and done a lot of good things, but ultimately his platform is built in such a way that he's sitting on all this data. And this data on hundreds of millions of people is very badly needed for those that want to take it from him. Now, will they have compassion on him? I mean, it's a rhetorical question. So my thought is that the way it was built from the beginning is that there's nothing I have. I have no keys. I have no data. Really, all I have is kind of my reputation and my knowledge to drive the project. So, of course, that won't stop them. They may be just vindictive and want to hurt me. And, all they're going to do by that is make Bastion more popular, but they can't hurt it because the system is decentralized, becoming more decentralized over time. And the nodes that run the social network are on There are hundreds of nodes across all countries in the world. You'd have to shut all of them down. When FortaChat launches, it will start with a limited number of home servers, but once we open up there's already ability now. We can make it technically easier to launch your own server. There are going to be hundreds of chat servers that you're going to go across all countries in the world. So it's kind of a strategy where, it's really hard to shoot machine guns at butterflies, right? We try to be like butterflies.
Right.
So yes, I'm like a big fat target talking about it, but it's not really, there's no profit, In Russia, there's a proverb. It's like basically trying to get fur from a pig. There's a lot of squealing, but not a lot of fur. So that's the way, I don't want to compare myself to a pig, but that's kind of the way it will be.
But that's all by design. So, yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah.
If you ever travel to France, be careful because they wear these red hats over there that says "Make waterboarding great again," and I don't want them to capture you.
Yeah.
So, what is?
I think I realized that when I saw that what was happening. I made my last trip to France.
Yeah.
I went to Notre Dame, Saint-Chapelle. I went up to Eiffel Tower, and that was it. That was the last time. So
Good.
yes, I'm fully aware of the vindictiveness and pettiness. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, what has proved harder, building decentralized technology or convincing ordinary people to actually use it?
But no match. Convincing the people, and I kept trying to wordsmith my metaphors. How do because I tend to think myself, I like rhetoric, I very much like philosophy, especially Stoic philosophy, and not just moral Stoic philosophy, but, Stoics have basically a huge theory of language, which actually explains a lot of the power behind what's called AI. So I tend to think that I, convince people, but one of the best things I think I came up with is that, hey, you think it's cheaper to do it centralized, right? But actually the most expensive cheese is in a mousetrap. You just pay after, and you pay with everything.
Right.
So, and even that people will nod. Like, I'll give you an example with Barteron. I thought that the Barteron was a no-brainer. Like a no-brainer for people who have because usually, like, I went to businessmen who do have foresight, who do manage risks. They have to think about those risks. And yet, like, example, case in point is Russia, right? I know a lot of people that I'm Russian by birth, and I am Russian, but I'm an American citizen. But I do know people there, and I try to convince them. I said, businessmen, you have to decentralize your distribution. And yes, they have these companies in Russia you probably know called Wildberries and Ozon. They do delivery. It's like a delivery logistics centers.
Yes,
and
they've been getting hit by drones, man.
Exactly. For years, I told him. Now I speaking to my friend the other day. He said it's not a huge business. He said I lost 100,000 euro worth of stuff. I said, but I thought you said it was cheap. I thought you said Wildberries was the cheap way to do business. Actually, I told you it's the most expensive way to do business. You would have been better off going to Barteron because Barteron has these distribution points run by normal people for businesses. So
Right.
they're very decentralized.
Decentralized, right? Not a target.
They're not even on the map so much. And if you used it, you would probably spend a few €1,000 extra over years, and yet you would be €100,000 better off. But people tend to not look for it, and even paradoxically, we not just regular people who tend to live day to day, but people who are supposed to have foresight, very smart people in other ways, they will emotionally not want to do it until something bad happens, and at that point, it might be too late.
Yeah. Wow. See, that's why your technology is the perfect fit for the show. It's also why I embraced your tech years ago, once I've understood it. And I've been an advocate of it ever since, and we use your technology to power Brighteon.io ever since. And now I'm an advocate of Forta Chat. And I do have one question. I'm wondering if I could use it as an emergency broadcast system, one-to-many, where I could have many, many members follow an account that I publicize, but I can only talk to them. They can't post on that channel. So I could use it as an emergency broadcast. Is that a structure that's possible within Forta?
It's actually already there. So your channels that you run already on Brighteon Forta.io and your other Brighteon video channels, which I watch, all those channel subscribers, when they go to Forta, they receive your broadcast in Forta. So if they have Forta chat with Tor and I mean, ultimately, if all internet is down, no. But even if there is severe censor, let's say tomorrow, they'll block all of the internet and say only 5 sites are available, CNN, Fox, whatever propaganda you want to eat. And then they say, we'll limit the number of services. In most of those situations, Forta will continue to work. People will get your posting in your channel, and you don't need to open a new channel. It's the same channel in Bastion. And they don't need, by the way, for Forta, if you already have Bastion, you don't need a new key. You take your key from Bastion, you log into Forta, all your subscriptions and subscribers will follow you.
Okay, so I need to do that step next then. I'll try that this evening.
I mean, I'm subscribed to your channels.
Yeah.
I get them in Forta right now. They come into my Forta.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. I will try that out and see if I can make that work. Sounds like it's going to be easy. I'll just use that seed phrase to log in as the same account that I've been posting on Brighteon.io.
Yeah, I'll send you a screen in a little bit. Like right now, I went to my Forta chat, and I have personal messages, which I'm not going to show. But number 5 is Health Ranger post that says genetic assault on your cells, tech privacy and local AI with Hakeem.
Yeah, I posted that. Yeah, a couple hours ago.
It's in my Forta chat, in my feed on the top.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm subscribed to you.
Okay, well, hey, okay, that's solved.
And that's from like 2 hours ago, I think.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Exactly. I posted that before I came to the studio. Okay.
And even from Forta chat, I can rate it. There's a rating system for the post. I can actually give you a high rating so that it affects all of the presentation of your post in the Bastion ecosystem right from the Forta chat.
Wow. And by the way, thank you for allowing the technology so that I can post my infographics. You've probably seen some of my infographics, which they're normally like 2 megabytes, which is pretty big image, or 3 megabytes, whatever. And I understand that Bastion and Forta, they're optimized to try to really conserve bandwidth usage. But I appreciate the fact that I can post a pretty good size image and it gets propagated because people love those images.
Yeah, I do. I've rated, put 5 stars to at least 3 of them in the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
Very cool.
The last one I saw was the flu shot, the kill shot. That was today or yesterday, right?
Yeah, I posted that last night, I think.
It was very convincing. And, I think that a lot of people are, I think it's a bit of an overstatement that we are visual learners, but it's true to some degree. And certainly when you want to share something, you'd rather share a picture than a text, unfortunately.
Well, I do it in every way I can. I'll have an infographic, I'll have a podcast, I'll have an article, I'll have a video. And of course, all those infographics are created with the help of AI engines. So, with good prompting. Oh,
and I understand you probably use local for those because I can't imagine any Nano Banana allowing you to create a picture like that.
It's a combination. I have a local option if something like Nano Banana fails or rejects, which does happen. I have a local version. The thing is, the local version has to go through many iterations. It can take like 20 to 30 minutes to build an infographic because of all the fixes and everything. But I do have that running locally as a backup. Yeah.
Well, I think local models are getting better and better.
Absolutely.
I have a number. I have a Mac Studio with 256 gigs. I have DGX
good for you.
And right now I'm working on creating a cluster of 4 DGX Sparks.
Yep.
Which is not trivial. So I think that
right.
come like fall, we'll be able to be only a few percent behind the frontier models with local. And that's enough because ultimately, if you know what you're doing, you're going to get more than those 5% or 10% you're behind.
Yeah. By the way, on those DGX Sparks, that supposed high-speed networking connection on the back, it's all jacked up. They didn't engineer it correctly. I ran into that just trying to connect
Maybe
two of them.
that's why I'm having problems when you to talk.
You're major. I actually documented this. I posted about it. There is a very specific major architectural problem with the way they integrated that with the CPU bandwidth. it's nowhere near the gigabit throughput that is claimed on the spec. It's like 1/20th of that. So anyway, talk about that off camera, but I'm not happy with the DGX Spark for that very reason. Look, we're almost out of time, so I want to go back to Todd. And Todd, we're about to dive into like super tech geek world here right now. So save us. How would you? Yeah.
Well, I just have one last question. I'm just intrigued with this France talk. Has any government ever contacted you, attempted to identify users or tried to block or get you to have you give up your user base?
No, I think partly because I speak so much about what they can and cannot get from me. But what I do get is a lot of people posing in different ways, trying to kind of make personal connections and become part of the team to learn the team members.
Infiltration, man.
And they leave when we realize that we use the same anonymous communications that we advertise. So like they're not gonna get, they join a group and they see nicknames and they hang out for a while and then they leave. I'm like, okay, I know why you were here.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, that's funny because Todd, we've had on our Brighteon.com platform, which is separate from this, we've had governments like the German government demanding that we remove videos regarding history. Yeah, because it's not the version of history that they like. Yeah. And so, we just tell them to go F themselves, whatever. Because what else are you going to do with the German government or the French government for that matter? You're just going to tell them, no, we're Americans. We don't buy into your Western European crap. But anyway, we need to wrap this up. So Daniel, is there anything else that you would like to add here? Any other, websites you want to mention, or how can people use the tech? What's the best way?
Well, I think Forta.chat is the best way that you mentioned. You start with the website, but there is a link that I will send where you can download the Android Messenger, which I think is really important because in the Messenger, push notifications do matter. Okay, so the Android version is stable. We submitted it to Google, we'll see, but really it's not important because you have the APK file. Any Android phone can run Forta application with push notifications and everything right now. And you can select, for example, let's say you want to get push notifications from personal messages, but not from certain channels. You can control all that. It's not going to inundate you.
Yeah.
Soon, meaning within 1 week, there's going to be an app for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Forta chat applications for a computer.
I see.
It's better than the website. It's obvious that the websites are more controlled. Right. It has more ways to get around network problems. It will work in more kinds of situations. Functionality is the same, okay? iPhone app, like I said, I'm not sure, but Android app and desktop apps, Android app's already out, desktop apps are coming. So that's what you want really with the chat. Using it in a website can be introductory, but you're not going to get notifications, and that's what's going to stop people. So I definitely look below the video, and Mike will provide the link that I put into GitHub. Just take the .apk file, download from the GitHub site and from the Bastion site I give you, or from the Bastion site, and run it on your device. Yeah.
So that's exactly what I did here. This is a de-Googled phone from Above Phone, who's also a partner of ours. So in fact, just I think 2 days ago, I did exactly what you said. I went to the GitHub link. I got the APK, put the APK on here, ran it. It installed seamlessly. I logged in. Now I'm running Forta chat on a de-Googled phone, completely anonymously.
So do I. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, this is running an eSIM that I also purchased through Above Phone. That's also completely anonymous as well. So, there's
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool technology eSIM. I didn't get around to it, but I should find out more, and maybe we should promote it on Bastion. Your eSIM.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we'd check with Hakeem. I don't know if it works worldwide, but in the United States, it certainly does.
I know there are that work worldwide.
There are some, yeah. But we'd have to check with Hakeem on that. But anyway, folks, that's abovephone.com/Brighteon if you want to go check out those phones. And I'm also running a Linux laptop here from Above Phone. But anyway, the key is forta.chat, That's Forta.chat. Create your account there, and you can follow my main Brighteon IO account, which I think is just Health Ranger, isn't it? Are you seeing my account there, Daniel? Is it just Health Ranger?
Well, yes, it is Health Ranger, and I think it's the same because in Forta I don't see whether it was Brighteon IO or Bastion. I just see Health Ranger. I'm subscribed to Health Ranger,
Okay.
and I have another channel of yours, I believe, Brighteon Official.
Okay. So Health Ranger is the one that people can follow there for all my posts.
Yeah.
I never have to relog in, so I don't remember exactly which username I use there.
If you already subscribe to Health Ranger through Bastion or Brighteon IO, you go into Forta Chat, you take your private key from Bastion in settings, put it in there in registration, you immediately see your subscriptions.
Okay.
Wow.
Perfect. All right. Well, we are going to encourage everybody to do that. I'll be talking about it on other shows and podcasts as well. So Daniel, I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing. And I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been really instructive.
Thank you, Mike, for all your support. I think that the big thing with you is that you have lots of energy. I think one of the problems, for whatever reason, is people have a lot of good intentions, but don't have energy or staying power and fall away, and I try to fight that in me.
That's the smoothie energy right there, man.
It's
Nutrition.
all helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of energy too. And look, more and more people are going to find out about this because the surveillance grid is really cracking down on all of us. So anonymous, decentralized communication that's truly private is critical at this point. So you built the system that does it. And I think a lot of people are going to learn about it. So thank you, Daniel.
Great job. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, Daniel. And my wife is Russian, so I can say paka.
Paka.
Paka. Paka. Does that mean bye?
Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, now I learned a Russian word today. We'll be right back after this break, folks, with the after party, which is an abbreviated after party for today because of some time limitations we have. But we'll be right back after this break. Todd and I will for a quick discussion. Thank you for watching. Stay with us. We'll be right back. If you'd like to help support us, check out all of the affiliate deals I put together for you at rangerdeals.com. And if you go there, you'll see I've done due diligence on all of these affiliates. There's really not that many, but we have partners like Battalion Metals, co-founded by Tucker Carlson, Nessa's organic CBDA hemp extract, Above Phone models that are de-Googled phones, Red Life, here's the peptide company, Limitless, Petmectin, and so much more, including the satellite phone store, vp.net. And for almost all of these, you can use discount code RANGER here, or sometimes it's something else like Brighteon 50, but normally the discount code is RANGER, which will save you something on these deals. Now, we do earn a little bit off of these affiliate deals, but it's no additional cost to you, and it helps support our platform and our work for humanity, including our AI projects that offer free open source knowledge in multiple languages. You can check those out at brightlearn.ai and brightanswers.ai. So thank you for supporting us. Check out rangerdeals.com anytime you want to save money on really high-end products and solutions that I personally endorse. I'm Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. Thanks for watching. All right, welcome to the after party. So Todd, hey, what a great topic today, and like really practical tools for people.
Yeah, Daniel is just amazing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Talk about somebody giving a gift to humanity.
I know.
Right?
I know, because he's not earning any substantial money from this. No.
Right. Right.
The whole thing is free.
It's literally a gift.
Yeah.
So everybody should go sign up and let's all start figuring this out together.
Completely agree. So this technology is, it should be embraced by everyone that wants to protect their privacy. I think this is going to take off. And I hadn't heard anybody talking about it.
Up until last night.
Until I actually just found it on their website.
Wow.
I was looking to install Bastion and I was like, what's this Forta thing? And I checked it out. And that's the only way I found out about it. So that's why I invited Daniel on, because more people need to know about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is Forta intended to replace Bastion's earlier chat functionality, I presume.
I think it's parallel. Like Forta is its own standalone, dedicated chat with voice messaging and calling.
Right.
So in the Bastion social media system, there's no calling and there's no like voice messaging type of thing, right?
Yeah. Like with Signal, Telegram.
I think of Forta as just a straight up replacement for Signal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Signal's great, by the way. I don't have anything against Signal. Signal
this is an additional
it's
layer.
not end-to-end encrypted.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah, and are the chats on Signal's servers?
They have to be.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they go through the servers. Yeah.
Theirs is the same issue as Telegram then, Signal's, right?
Right. And
so
you wonder like which governments are leaning on Signal.
Right.
And saying, you have to give us backdoor access or, we'll prosecute you for cyber crimes or something.
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. I just think that this weekend I'm going to get on there and I'm going to really start trying to figure it out. And I like your idea about with the UNA Telegram group, giving people the option. So I'm going to see about being able to not turn my back on Telegram, because that's, with over 600 people in there, that I think that would be an issue. But for those people who choose to engage more privately, then I want to see if I can make that happen.
Yeah. And remember, the cool thing about Forta is that when you create an account, it is not tied to your phone number, your name, your email. Now, it asks you for a name.
Yep.
You can use any name you want.
Fukov, baby.
Master Fukov. 1, 2, 3.
By the way, Mike, there was a lightning bolt here, and I don't know if everything is frozen on my end. Can you still see me?
It's still good here. It's all good here.
Oh, good. Okay.
But we're getting rain here, so there might be some background rain sounds coming through. So
can't
lightning there, rain here.
Right.
Okay. Whatever. Just another day.
Just another day of weather modification or something.
Yeah, exactly. We can live with it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. No worries. Well,
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just seeing the frozenness, I just wanted to double check and make sure that I was still with you. So
no, it's still working great.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you disappear, we'll plug in your avatar to say something crazy.
Oh man, Mike, I was thinking during all of that, the older I get, the more luxurious works without an interview connection sounds, right? I mean, everything that you're doing with your AI locally and such, all of the solutions that we're bringing to the table with Forta being the latest one, I mean, I just think are really important for people to not just consider, but actually go out and do.
Yeah, right.
That's it's like with the food force. After we interviewed Jim Gale, it was like, okay, that was cool, but in 3 years, my green grass keeping up with the Joneses isn't gonna feed me. So,
unless you love wheatgrass juice. Long grass juice,
yeah, with Monsanto recipe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of Roundup, gargle with it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, let me mention something coming up for our audience because I've got a really great surprise to share.
Okay.
I'm working on a course that you may have heard me talking about this in my podcast.
Yes.
This is the most important information I think I've ever put together. And it's a course about genetic survival, how to make your DNA unbreakable in the age of spike protein shedding and also radioisotope fallout. And I've done a super deep dive into the nutritional approaches and some lifestyle choices that augment your natural DNA repair mechanisms, which are called things like NHEJ, HR, which is homologous recombination, BER, NER, etc. These mechanisms are totally normal and natural, but they're suppressed in the presence of spike protein, suppressed by up to 90%. Todd, that's why we are seeing turbo aging among a lot of influencers and celebrities right now, because if your genetic integrity isn't protected, you age much faster. You know, your cells are falling apart genetically.
Wow.
Also, that's why we're seeing turbo cancers, because if you can't fix the DNA lesions, which could be all kinds of things like, you know, base pair mismatches, or what are called thymine dimers, or translocations, or whatever.
Yeah.
Your chromosomes start to fall apart. Your organs start to fall apart. You know, you age and you get cancer rapidly, right?
Yeah.
So I'm about to present a free of charge course about the nutritional solutions for that. And
wow.
yeah, and it's going to be a totally free course, by the way. And Todd, if you're okay with it, you know, because it's free, I really would love, only if you're open to it, I'd love to do one dedicated Decentralized TV episode about this.
Of course.
Are you cool with that?
Oh my gosh. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Sure.
Then I will bring, like during that, I'll bring like samples of some of the foods and nutrients.
That would
and
be so
things.
cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Show people. And I'm using AI to build all these infographics to explain the concepts of how, you know, like how DNA gets broken. You've heard the term double strand breaks. Have you?
No.
DSBs? Well, like that's the worst kind of chromosomal break you can have. It's a complete severing of both strands. You know how DNA has two sides and it's all spiraled together. Actually, you know what? I have a DNA model over in the lab. I got to grab that. If you break both strands, like your chromosomes are screwed. That's called a double strand break. And that's caused by ionizing radiation. Or it can be, there's some other possible causes. It could be like a mismatch replication from a single strand break can become a double strand break. Anyway, you have a repair mechanism for that called non-homologous end joining, NHEJ. And your body, it's weird. It borrows a segment of DNA from another chromosome and uses that as a template and then fills in the other side of that. And it takes a guess at like what should be here. It's wild.
Wow.
It's like taking giving an image to an AI model.
Yeah.
And saying like, you know, here's
fill in the blank.
Here's a like put a green vase on the table in the photo, right?
Yeah.
That's what your body does with DNA. It's like, something's wrong here. Like there's a total cutoff. What goes here? And your body takes a guess and it fills it in. It's not 100% error-free, but it's usually error-free. But the thing is, in order to do that, you have to have like enzyme cofactors. You have to have zinc. You have to have magnesium. You have to have cellular energy. You have to have these building blocks for the enzymes and so on to do this. And certain proteins that are involved. And if you don't have those things, you're just screwed. That cell dies, man.
Mike, as part of the program, will you be offering any kind of like daily regiment, recipe plan, whatever? Because, you know, I follow you a lot and I see all of the infographics and you talk about a lot of different, whether it's fruits or berries or whatever. And at some point in time, I'm like, that's a good idea. I need to do that. I need to take that. I need to take this. But then it almost gets a little overwhelming to where I just kind of frustratingly think, damn, I just want a 7-day calendar of how I could prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you know, I'm just saying as an FYI, just a 1 week daily plan for me to consider. Right.
Okay. Well, that's a great idea. That's a good suggestion. Since I haven't recorded the last 3 chapters, I could incorporate that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because then I'd get excited about that. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. I won't call it a detox plan, but it's kind of, if you reboot your system and you eat how you are suggesting through the series, man, I got to believe that after a week of eating well, following the prescription, I should feel better.
Oh, yeah.
I should lose weight.
Man, you would feel better. You'd have better cellular energy.
Yeah.
Over time, your skin will age more gracefully or slowly, the signs of aging, to say.
Yeah.
But all these kinds of things.
Just the foundation of that would get us, I say me, get us into better habits.
Okay.
Right. I just think that would be a great value add.
Okay, no problem. Well, so let me ask you one question. Are you willing to drink sardine smoothies?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If food cocktails.
Fortunately, you don't have to. Okay. So sardines are
I love sardines.
You like sardines?
I eat. Yes, I like.
Oh, so you're serious? Like you are willing to drink sardine smoothies?
I would.
Oh, crap. Okay. Wow. Almost nobody wants to drink sardine smoothies. So there's sardines are 1.5% nucleic acids by weight. It's one of the best sources of RNA material for your body, but there's an alternative, a couple of alternatives that are even higher that are not fish.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
So you don't have to drink a sardine smoothie.
If you walked into my pantry downstairs, you would see probably 24 cans of sardines in there.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yep.
How do you eat them?
I eat them straight.
What do you mean? You just pull it out of the can, the tin?
I open it up, dump it in a bowl, and I'll just take a fork and eat the whole thing. Yeah. Sardines are great.
You're not messing with me?
No, I'm not.
You just eat sardines right out of the tin.
Yeah. I've always loved sardines.
Wow. Well, that's a really healthy habit, man.
They're good for you.
They are very good for you.
Right?
Yeah. And it's also one of the cleanest things out of the ocean because small fish don't bioaccumulate as much of a toxic load as the larger, like tuna.
That's right.
Man, I didn't know that about you.
There's a whole sardine diet to where like you eat nothing but sardines for like 5 days.
Oh.
And it's a total body detox. Yeah. It's supposed to just really adjust everything internally.
Oh, man, I cannot handle that.
I take it you don't share my affinity to the taste of sardines, Mike?
Look, I grew up in the Midwest. We don't do a lot of seafood, man. It's like hamburger and potatoes and stuff.
I hear you.
Yeah. Did you grow up near the coast?
No, I grew up in Goodland, Kansas.
You grew up in Kansas?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So you grew up in the Midwest too. What are you talking about?
I went to college at the University of Iowa.
Where did you learn to eat sardines, man?
The Instagram told me about the sardine diet a long time ago.
That's just crazy.
I'll try that.
Okay. You're one of the very, very small number of people from Kansas that like sardines.
Yeah. And I screwed up at first. When I first started doing it, I got anchovies, not sardines.
Oh.
And then I'm like, that wasn't going to work. And then I realized, no, it's the sardine diet. And then I got the sardines and I like it.
Okay,
I mean,
so you don't do anchovies on pizza?
I could, but I don't think it's worth. It doesn't have the ROI.
Okay, but would you put sardines on a pizza?
No.
No, not either.
No.
You just
pepperoni, mushroom, double cheese pizza. That's my go-to.
I see.
Well done.
With a side bowl of just sardines, slopping them right out of the can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we all learned something new today. That's cool. I mean, I'm impressed because that's a really healthy habit, man.
Yeah.
That is.
It's try it, everyone. So search the sardine diet. You'll see the protocol, which is eat sardines.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't really need much of a book on that one. It's just like chapter 1, eat sardines, Chapter
three
2.
three times a day.
Yeah.
Eat sardines.
Keep eating sardines. Yeah.
Yeah. but it, you have energy throughout the day. I mean, you would know more about sardines than I do as far as what's in them, but I think maybe
nucleic acids.
Okay.
Plus healthy oils.
Yes, exactly.
Plus,
they say
a lot of
don't
protein.
do it. Yeah, they say don't do it with the water sardines. You want the oils in there.
Yeah.
They're good for you.
Right. Yeah, they're very healthy. Wow. I mean, and I'm not trying to be insulting, but I do feed sardines to my dogs specifically because of their nutritional content, and they love them. They love them.
Yeah. The only negative is like after 3 days, if you sweat, you do kind of start smelling like sardines.
What? You have like a fishy aura?
Yeah. Yep.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Little bit. Did
your wife tell you about that?
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, lay off the sardines, but you're getting a little fishy.
Kind of how the conversation went, Mike.
You smell like the bottom of a seafood barrel.
Yeah, it definitely included something that sounded a lot like, until you're done, don't even think about kissing me, honey.
Wow. Okay. All right, man. Well, again,
so there you go, sports fan.
All right. Well, you have out nutrified the health ranger with that one, because you're eating healthier fish than I am.
Yeah. And you know what, Mike? People can acquire a UNA to keep more of what they earn so they can invest that in sardines.
That's true.
How's that for a segue?
What's the shelf life of those sardine cans? What is that? Couple years?
A couple years.
See, there you go. Well, no, since you brought up the UNA, go ahead and talk about it.
Sure.
We'll bring up the website, my575e.com.
That's right, my575e.com. You'll see a button there that says let's go. And if you'd like to keep more of what you earn, protect what you have, and decrease your personal liability, I really encourage you to discover this relatively undiscovered entity. And I help you do that through the website. So you just hit let's go, put your name and email in there, and then you can watch a 90-minute video interview of Dennis Gray. He's the subject matter expert. Has been doing this, helping people for 40 years acquire these. I got my own UNA 8 years ago. And Mike, since we started talking about it on the show, goodness, almost 3 years ago, I've helped over 700 people acquire these UNAs. We have a private Telegram group which is going to soon to be a Forta chat group too, to where there's over 600 people in there. And that's where amazing support is. And Mike, I know that you've spoken to some of our experts from the group on a little bit more sophisticated issues. And I'm just telling you that the people who acquire these UNAs, most have come through this show. And if you're watching Mike Adams or DTV, you're just not a dumb person. So all I want to do is help you understand it. And I think I do a pretty good job through the website. But if you want to have a more personal conversation, I'm available for a consultation. You can book it right through the site. And look, it's just an amazing entity that is life-changing, and it is codified in California law. The key is it needs to be a California-established UNA. And let's chat about it, because we're really doing some good out there, Mike, helping people.
You are. And I did speak with a couple of your high-end experts that know how to deploy this, because I was curious. I'm learning more about your system all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's not your system. I mean, the state of California made it a law years ago. Yep. And what I learned from these people, I'm going to have to process this, because they have a map for structures involving core UNAs with other entities that provide, privacy protection with full banking access and operations. They're used by people who handle like investment money, ranchers, for-profit businesses, nonprofit entities,
Yep.
people who just want to protect a home or protect a piece of land, whatever. I was astonished. They know their stuff.
It is a journey, and it's one of those that once you acquire a UNA, it's, you're invited to almost a very, very special club of freedom-minded people, Mike, and everybody is rooting for each other in there. There was a gentleman over the holidays. It was so cool. He came in and he goes, "I love this group. It's all for one, and we're the one." And that's just kind of the and boy, oh boy, when I do these consultations, everybody loves him some Mike Adams. I mean, everybody opens up with the same thing. I've been following Mike for 2 decades. And so
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't offended them by now. I mean, I don't hold back sometimes. No, I really appreciate that. We have an amazing audience, people who watch the show.
Really do.
I mean, just the best people. I think the remnant of humanity, actually.
I do too.
We are the survivors.
Yep.
Who can navigate anything that the world throws our way.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage you, you should add an incentive, a free can of sardines with every UNA. So just in case. No, but seriously, folks, if you want some ultra clean superfoods and nutritional supplements and foods, go to my online store. Okay, here it is, healthrangerstore.com. And we have a massive mass spec laboratory. We test for heavy metals and glyphosate, atrazine for some items, dioxins, PCBs for other items, etc. We have all these categories: supplements, preparedness, personal care, food and beverage, and home. Laundry detergent. If you're still buying a store-bought laundry powder, you need to change, because that stuff is toxic out there. We have ultra clean, no synthetic fragrances whatsoever in any of our products. We avoid GMOs. We avoid garbage or fillers or whatever to bring you the cleanest, most laboratory scrutinized products for healthy living. And you can find all of that at healthrangerstore.com. And of course, that helps support this platform as well. So we thank you for your support. All right, Todd. Well, what another amazing show, and a very practical one today.
Yeah. I think this weekend is going to be fun for me. Try to figure this stuff out. And I just encourage everybody else to kind of enjoy the sport of Forta chat.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
It's like fortitude and Forta chat. They kind of go together, right?
I like it.
Fortitude.
Yes.
It's also a good attitude of privacy and, giving your finger to the establishment. It's like, you're not going to spy on me. I mean, we're living under a surveillance infrastructure now. You got to protect your privacy.
Forta finger.
Forta finger. Oh, man. Okay. Well, now that you told me your sardine story, now I have some new ideas for the AI rendering video of Avatar. Oh, man. You're gonna regret telling me about that one. It's now, it's going wild now.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole ocean of ideas, let's put it that way.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Well, Todd, have a great weekend, and thanks for all your time today. It's been fun.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Cheers.
All right. And remember, everybody, the other episodes, you can find them and watch them all at decentralize.tv. For Mike Adams and Todd Pittner, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Take care.